Hi guys, welcome to another one. So today we'll be looking at the abstract factory pattern. So it is a pattern, a design pattern, a creational design pattern that provides an interface for creating families of related or dependent objects without specifying their concrete classes. This pattern is useful when you need to create multiple families of products or objects that can be interchangeably used. When we looked at the factory design pattern, unlike the abstract factory, the client code knows the concrete class it is going to implement. But with the abstract factory, you don't your client code doesn't need to know what concrete object it is going to implement. You just supply the abstract factory and it creates the object and instantiates the method you want to use. So we're going to be doing a deep dive into code and understanding how it works and how to use it in our code. So key things you might need to know about this abstract factory design pattern. You have to first define the abstract product interface. Then you would have to go ahead to also define the concrete product implementation. This implements the product interface, the abstract product interface you've defined in step one. So step three is you have to define the abstract factory interface. So after doing that, you would lastly define the concrete factory implementation that would extend, that is extending from the abstract factory interface. So you're going to understand all of this when we write the code. So let's jump in. So yeah, we have a blank Visual Studio Code environment. So on this directory here, I'm going to create a class. Yeah, a file. I'll call that abstract.js. So I can have an abstract chair. So this abstract chair here um, has a function, a sit function. So you can sit down on that chair. So it was an abstract chair, so you can sit on an abstract chair. So let's throw new let's say let's say method not implemented. So if you try to call this abstract chair directly, it will show this because you're trying to implement a method for a class that's an abstract class. So yeah. So let's create another class. Let's call this abstract sofa. So so you can lie down on the sofa. So we're gonna have a function called lie down function. So that function, same thing, just shows an error method not implemented. Cool. So let's module the export. So we're gonna export the abstract chair and the abstract sofa. Cool. Yeah, so we have our abstract product interface defined. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to define the concrete implementation of these abstract uh, interfaces. So let's do this. We'll call this concrete.js. Yeah, so in here, first thing we're going to do is we're going to import the abstract chair, and the abstract sofa that we created a while back. So let's import that. Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. So now we're going to have the concrete implementation. So we say class modern chair. So let's say we have a modern chair. So the modern chair extends the abstract chair interface implementation. So if he extends that, he has to implement the function on this abstract chair, which is the sit function. So yeah, so we can say console.log modern, okay, sitting on modern chair, sitting on modern chair. Yeah, cool. Then we're also going to have another type of chair. It's a Victorian chair. Call that Victorian chair. So it also extends the abstract chair. And since it extends that, it has to implement the base function. So we have console.log. Let's see, sitting on Victorian chair. Yeah, beautiful. Also, we also have the concrete implementation for our sofa. So we have the modern sofa, which extends the abstract sofa class. So since it extends that class, there is the lie down function, base function on that abstract sofa class. So we can say console.log lying down on modern sofa. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so also we're going to have another type of sofa, say Victorian sofa, that extends the abstract sofa. So it also implements same function, lie down function. Okay, so let's say lying down on Victorian sofa. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. So let's export this modular exports. So we have the modern chair. We also have the Victorian chair. Then we have the modern sofa. Then we have the Victorian sofa. Yeah, beautiful. Or do we have an error here? I think we have an error here. Yes, so we're supposed to have an assignment. Yeah, so we're good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create an abstract factory interface. So we're going to have an abstract, call it abstract factory.js. So this abstract factory, say class, abstract furniture. So both the sofa and the chairs are all furniture. So abstract furniture factory. Yeah, so that factory is going to have two methods or two functions. So we want to use this factory to create the chair and the sofa. So we don't want to bother ourselves to know whether it's a Victorian chair or a Victorian sofa or a modern chair, modern sofa. The abstract factory is going to handle all of that right under the hood. So let's create a function here, create chair function. So this create chair function just throws a new error. So we're not going to be implementing this directly. So we're not going to be instantiating that directly. So method not implemented. So you try to call this object directly, you're going to get that error. So also we can create sofa function. Yeah. So we can throw new error, call that say method not implemented. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. So let's just export this. Yeah, so let's export this factory. Beautiful. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna create a concrete implementation of this abstract furniture factory. So that's what we're gonna do here. So we're gonna say let's create a concrete factory. Yes. So let's import this abstract furniture factory. Okay. Abstract factory. Beautiful. Okay. So also we're going to import the concrete implementation of those products. So we're going to have here, we're going to have modern chair. Then we're going to have Victorian chair. Then we're going to have modern sofa. Then we're going to have Victorian sofa. So all of this will be imported from the concrete products implementation. Yeah. So, yeah, beautiful. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a class. We're going to call that modern furniture factory. So it's going to extend the abstract factory we created earlier. So we're going to have a create share implementation here. Yeah, create share. So what does it do? It returns new modern share. This is a modern furniture factory implementation. So there's also create sofa, autocomplete. Yeah, so I think it's also reading the code with me. Interesting. Okay, so next we're gonna have, it's also suggesting this, so that's correct. So we're gonna create another factory, call this the Victorian Furniture Factory, that extends the abstract factory. So we should be able to create share, uh, create share function. So return new Victorian share. Yes. So we can also create sofa that returns a new Victorian sofa. Yeah, beautiful. So let's just export this module.export. Yeah, the modern furniture factory and the Victorian furniture factory. Yeah, we're good. So let's have our main.js file. This is where our client's code will sit. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to import the the factory, that is the concrete factory implementation. So we're going to say, okay, let's have modern furniture factory and the Victorian furniture factory. Yeah, so we're going to import from where? From the abstract factory. Yeah, cool. So let's say we have our function. This is where we want to call they want to instantiate whether it's a chair or whether it's a factory, all of that. So that will be done here. So let's say call this client's code. So let's say our client's code takes in a parameter, a factory parameter. It doesn't need to know what factory. So we have a chair. And say factory dot create chair. Yeah. Then const factory. Let's call this sofa. Factory dot create sofa. Yeah. So then we can say chair dot sit. Yeah. Then we say sofa dot lie down. Yep. All of this dynamically typed. Well, let's see how we can use this. Call this usage. So let's create a modern factory. So it's a const modern factory. So new modern factory. So let's come here, client code takes in the modern factory. Yep. Now let's create a Victorian factory, a Victorian furniture factory. Okay. Yes. Yep. Auto completes. Cool. Yeah, that's about everything. So all we just needed to do to make use of the implementation of our concrete product that was implemented or that was structured in the factory is just call the factory and the factory would create the object you want to. So let's see how this works. Let's open our terminal. Yes, let's do node main.js. Okay, we have an error. So modern factory, modern furniture factory. So let's come here. Looks like there's a bug. Modern furniture is not a constructor. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I see where I missed it. So let's go back to concrete factory here. So let's check. Modern furniture implements the abstract furniture here. Modern furniture. Okay. Modern furniture is factory is not a constructor factory. So this is a class, modern furniture factory class. Let's come here. It's correct. Let's go back. Yeah. So, oh, okay. This the issue. So it's supposed to come from the concrete, yeah, concrete factory. Yep. So I think that's where we missed it. Yep. So we're good. So you can see when we call this, we instantiate this modern factory here. The modern factory is responsible for creating the sitting on modern chair, lying down on modern sofa. Then when we instantiate the Victorian factory, we can also see that sitting on Victorian chair, lying on Victorian sofa. So that's about the abstract factory design pattern. So this design pattern, you can see this when maybe if you have an application where you need to have different DB connections. So maybe you want a connection to Postgres, to MongoDB, to MySQL, to MS SQL. You can use this abstract factory design pattern because you're going to have an abstract product, which is each of the connections. Then we're going to have a concrete product, which is Postgres, MySQL, MongoDB, and whatever database you're going to be adding. Then the factory will be responsible for creating which database connection objects you intend to use per time. So yeah, that's one of the real life application of this pattern. So yeah, that's it for now, and bye.